Hey guys, how's it going? The Fuji guy here with a quick edit of this sports shot. So first things first, disclaimer, this was not shot on a Fuji system. I do not have the lens for the sports photography yet. So this was actually shot on my old D500. I bought it from the person I sold it to, as well as their Tamron 150 to 600. What I want to do is take this image and really get it to a level that we'll be happy with. So this is a local school, a Christian school here where I live. And first things first, everyone can see it's too bright. So I'm gonna drop the exposure some. There's still a little bit of highlights in her pants here, so I'm gonna drop that. That's not horrible. I actually dropped the exposure a little bit too much. I'm gonna raise some shadows just to try to bring back like only the crowd here and some of her jersey. So I'm actually gonna leave it pretty low just because I like the detail here in her jersey. I'm gonna lower clarity a little bit. Pretty much anytime I take portraits of people, I'm gonna lower clarity. Even though the lens, the 150 to 600 is a sports lens, a huge zoom range, it could still be sharp enough that you want to drop that a little bit. I love to add vignette on pretty much all my shots. That's too much. I think that's an appropriate level. And I always like to bump saturation just a tad bit, bring out the colors, especially the bright colors we have here. So compositionally, it's a little bit off. I'm going to boost the contrast. For sports photos, I actually go a little bit higher than I do for portraits. So there's a pretty good level for sports, just to give it a, I want to say a sports effect. You know it when you see it, just how the images look. And this crop is bothering me. She is directly in the middle of the frame, which is awesome, but she's looking to her left, the camera right. So I actually want to bring that crop in some. I'm gonna do my best to get her on that third and put almost 2/3 of the picture into this no man's zone. That's gonna bring it to a point where it looks like she's looking in the direction of the ball's coming instead of being in the middle of the frame with equal space on both sides. So that is not horrible. That's a real quick edit to get it where I want. I might bring down the highlights a little bit more, maybe play with the exposure, see if I can get it a little bit better. What I want to do is actually bring you to where the picture was after I applied all of my previous edits. So here is the after product and here's before. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take, excuse me, there we go. I'm going to go back a couple of edits to before I reset it to show us where it was. And this is the image that I ended up using. So I actually used a slightly wider crop on this one just to get it where we want it to. Exposure was about the same, contrast was about the same, highlight shadows were good, bump clarity down, and vignette was a little bit more than what I had. So I'm pretty consistent with the way I edit. So that last picture I would have toyed with a little bit more to get it closer to these settings that I have the other images at. And for the sake of consistency, I'm going to leave it there so all the images are pretty close to the same exposure. So that was a quick edit. Just remember the negative space. I was shooting on a tripod, so level was pretty good for most of this. I believe one of my pictures at the very beginning, I did, as you can see here, have to level off a little bit. The tripod was up on a slight heel, and I really didn't notice. It might have been reading equal, but if you look at the background here, the background's not level. You see the line that goes across? Really, that's about the level point. And so, even though the tripod might have been level, as it was compared to the field, it wasn't level just because of the way that it was angled and that way the camera read the sensor. Just a weird situation of, you know, this part being turned sideways, the camera being turned one way, but it all works out at the end. That's what the editing programs are for. So you can easily, especially with any of the leveling tools, see where everything's at and try to get your shot that you need. So this has been the Fuji Guy. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video. If you didn't like it, feel free to hit the thumbs down button. And also let me know why, what we can do better and try to improve as we go. Thank you.